跨国情侣有着怎样的恋爱故事？外国男生对于爱情又有哪些看法？请介绍一下你自己。
My name is Andreas originally from Austria and traveling already since many years to China.
你们是怎么认识的？
I met each other online. We finally met then in October in Guangzhou. So we had a conversation all nights and she went back home early morning and we agreed to meet again for breakfast next morning and she wanted to introduce her little daughter to me. So meanwhile I knew that she's a single mom and what she's doing and where she's coming from, and of course I also shared part of my story.
Has anyone described you, or do you think yourself as such a romantic person?
I'm for sure passionate and emotional. Like I'm also easy to cry.
Okay.
That's something we did together. We have been crying together, we have been loving together. And well, I simply like also to send flowers because I think it's a sign of showing that you like or love somebody. But, I mean, that's the only things you can do, especially when you're so far away, right? How do you show that you love somebody or that you think of somebody? I mean, sending some small signals. Of course, sometimes the signal is a little bit bigger with 999 roses.
你如何看待女主内男主外这一观点？
I don't like this kind of established roles that the woman has to do this because she is dedicated to be a housewife and blah blah blah. The man has the right to do that. That's stupid. I mean, to me it's important that at least you share those things both don't like to do, because then it's done quick, right? And the rest you have to find out who likes to do what. You have to accept that, right? So, of course, when always one part is doing everything and the other one is just sitting or hanging out lazy on the sofa, this is not working.
你在感情中的金钱观是怎样的？你如何看待新时代的独立女性？
Well, first of all, I'm happy that girls are more and more independent and that they can develop their life. Second, I'm not afraid of that. I know there is still a lot of men who cannot handle a strong, intelligent, smart woman. But I think it's something great to have a partner who is intelligent, smart, knows having goals. Of course, when the part that earns more usually contributes more, depending what you want. I mean, just for buying the food you need is another big thing, but when you make plans in the future, like buying a bigger apartment or buying a nicer car or whatsoever, then of course you have a budget which you put together and say, okay, it's ours in certain cases, and some others you just keep it separate. I mean, that's the independency. I mean, why should one partner everything with the other? But of course, when it comes about things that is important for developing something together, I think it's normal that you put together what you have. To me here it's not important because sometimes one part might have more, sometimes the other part. So we have to see that on the long term.
Were you okay with like Angela who has a little daughter?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love this little girl. Well, of course, I would never the approach to replace her dad. I even wrote her a letter about this. It's a little bit difficult situation with her dad. As it always is when you get divorced, and she has a good relationship. She loves her dad. I would never interfere that. I mean, I rather support that she sees him and that they have a normal daughter-father relationship.
Yeah.
But I would like to be the person being there whenever she needs somebody. Or a good example for her, like to see what I do, how I do it, to be a good person. I just want to be there. When she needs somebody, she knows I'm there. And actually, this was one of the moments where I felt that I arrived. I remember they brought me to train station the other day when I had to leave, and I was going from Guangzhou east to Hong Kong. And we had a drink in somewhere around the train station, and kind of intuitive, she just climbed on my legs and was sitting there and having her ice cream or her drink, like, you know, very natural. And that was the sign that, okay, I was accepted, because she would never have done that. This is something very important to me, because you can love each other as much as you want. When the kid doesn't want you, sooner or later it will break up, because there's always something in between. And you never can ask a person to choose between her daughter and her boyfriend or husband or lover or whatever. The child will be always first, which is of course normal and important. And of course it's perfect when the kids then accept you. And that was really the moment where I thought, okay, now.
你认为异地恋辛苦吗？你们是如何熬过18个月的分离的？
I mean, it was extremely tough, and we have been indeed twice at a point where we were about to break up. So it was not always going that smooth, but we managed to survive. Of course, at the end, when you come to the point where it's getting difficult, I always said there's no way to break up via WeChat or via phone or something like this. This is something you have to do face to face. You have to look at each other and telling each other that there is no future, because a human being is not just having one sense or like a mouth to talk, and yes, you're communicating with your entire body, and when there is nothing you feel anymore, of course, then it might be time to move on. But when you're next to each other, then you can feel what is left. And of course, being apart for 18 months, there's no doubt. I mean, it's not just the day-to-day things. We are human beings, we have desires, right? We have wishes, we have intentions. And there's a lot of things you miss out. And this is, of course, sometimes stressing. But that we just managed to talk about it. We have been silent sometimes, not very often, but get out this pressure and then to start talking again. Say, okay, let's find a way. Because we managed to be together in this way already so long. It would be a pity just to give up because of a moment where we just have been not in a good mood. Yeah, so we survived on this long distance. I know it's not easy. There is no recipe or say, okay, do it exactly like this, then you will survive. You have to find your way. Of course, you need to talk. I mean, that's to me the most important. And not just about how is the weather and how is your food. I mean, you really need to talk. You need to find a way. Also to talk about the not so pleasant things or what bothers you but yeah, somehow we survived. And now we're going to see each other tomorrow, which is really great. I'm very excited, yeah.
Cry again. Are you happy, darling? 感动。